Hello everyone, welcome to Past Times.
I was born on the 6th of December 1928 as Rose McNally, and I was then married to John Vincent Burke in 1949. I was born in Jarrow on the 6th of December 1928.
And what did your dad do?
My dad was a shoemaker, but he didn't do a lot of making of shoes, but he did a lot of repairing. And he worked in Jarrow for a little while, and then he moved to London and he worked in the shoe repairers there. There's no work in Jarrow for him.
Right.
And he wanted to better himself, first of all on his own,
Right.
until he could get a flat take my mother with him and me. And then he sort of became quite ambitious, and he wanted to have a shop of his own because he was sick of working for other people. So they must have looked around at some point and found this shop that was available to rent in Aylesbury, in Buckinghamshire. So then he got in touch with my mother and told her about this. So they went down to see the shop in Aylesbury, and they decided to take it. But in the meantime, my uncle Will came to work. He left Bedlington and went up to London, and my dad got him a job in the same shoe repairers as he was working in. And he taught him to sort of finish what we call finish shoes. And then when my dad moved to Aylesbury, they wanted to come with us. So he did. And so did Bob, his brother. He left Bedlington and went up to London, and eventually they came to Aylesbury.
Bob was the older brother, wasn't he?
Yes, he was the older brother.
Yeah.
And he came to live with us as well when we lived in Aylesbury. And my dad more or less taught my Uncle Will the whole job of shoe repairing. And eventually my mother opened a shop in Leighton Buzzard, and she asked my Uncle Will to go and manage it. And she also opened a shop in Hemel Hempstead to take in shoe repairers. And my dad used to do the shoe repairing, and when they were done, my mother would take them back and open up the shop in Hemel Hempstead.
For them to be collected?
To be collected, yes.
Right.
But that didn't seem to last for very long, because I don't think they had the business there, really. So eventually they gave it up, and we came back to live in Aylesbury. And
so what was Bob doing at that time?
Well, he used to go out and try and collect shoes from different customers and that, you know. But how that went on, I don't really know, because I was very young at the time.
Did he sort of go around the villages, or just he's contained
No,
it in
I think
Aylesbury?
he just sort of stayed in the same village, you know.
Yeah.
In Hemel Hempstead. Because it was quite a big place. Nowhere near as big as it is now, of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, eventually I went to school in Aylesbury, and I stayed there until I was 14 when I left.
But in the meantime, what happened to Uncle Will and Bob? What happened to them?
Well,
they moved on. Tell us where they moved on to.
When they moved to Wing, my mother rented a house there for them.
Yeah.
And she used to go and she used to take in shoe repairs for Uncle Will at the shop she opened in
Leighton.
And also she used to go over and clean the house from top to bottom every week. And they used to come home, and she'd have a meal ready for them. And then my mum and I would go back to Aylesbury. And then, as I say, I went to school there. And then again she opened another shop in Dunstable and did the same thing as she used to do in Hempstead.
I seem to remember you moved to Dunstable
Yes,
at one
we did,
time.
yes.
You left the shop in Aylesbury
That's right. But
and you moved to Dunstable for a short time.
That's right, we did. And but my dad always kept that shop on.
What, the one in Aylesbury?
The one in Aylesbury, yes, he
Right.
always kept that on.
Mhm.
Because they weren't sure whether the one in Dunstable would be a success.
Right.
And it wasn't particularly, and I hated living there.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. So anyway, my mother asked her sister, who was Kath's mum, if they could come and stay with her, just to sort of get the furniture out and move back into the shop. So she said yes. So we stayed there for, I suppose it'd be probably a couple of weeks. As I say, it wasn't long because we'd already got the shop, but it was a case of getting the furniture. Dunstable, yes.
Yeah.
Into back into Aylesbury.
Right.
And so they gave up the shop in Dunstable, and eventually they gave up the one in Hemel Hempstead. And they just kept the one on that was in Leighton Buzzard. And Uncle Will, he ran the shop for my mother, but then he told her he was going to get married to Olive,
who he'd met in Leighton Buzzard.
To live in Leighton Buzzard.
Yeah.
And she said, well, in that case, then, you know, you can have the business. And as a sort of wedding present. But then they never got married, really, till 13 years after that. So it was a long engagement.
They had a lot of rows, didn't they?
Engagement, yes. Oh, yes.
They had a lot of rows. It was on and off a lot of times, wasn't it?
Plain sailing.
Yeah.
But then the family never was plain sailing, really.
No.
It was always up and down.
I used to say to you, they were like a bunch of Jack Russell Terriers.
I can't remember that, but that's what
they
were.
were.
Like.
What happened to the cobbler's shop then? Was
Well,
your dad still there?
No, he left as well. And well,
did he leave your mum then?
Well, it was a very rocky marriage.
It was.
My mum and dad, up and down all the time. He would go and then come back.
Yeah.
Go again and come back until we moved from Aylesbury to Wingrave to take over a pub just for a short time until they closed it. That was after I was married. But
and then you took a pub at Hartford somewhere, was it? Hartford. Called the Flower Pot.
Flower Pot, that's right.
Do you remember that, Karen?
Yeah.
Karen says she was born then.
She was.
While you were at the Flower Pot.
That's right. She was born in the bedroom just above.
And was Catherine born there as well?
Well, she was born in Hertford as well, but she was born in the hospital.
Right.
But, I didn't want another birth in the hospital.
No,
I wanted to
was
have
like
it
that.
at home.
Yeah, I had one at home. Yeah.
And which meant I was a lot happier there.
So when did your dad return to Jarrow?
Oh, I can't remember really.
Oh, right.
No, I can't.
But he did return to Jarrow in the end, didn't
yes,
he?
He did, yes.
Yeah.
And
Was it when you your family moved to Harpenden?
no, he was gone before we left Harpenden.
Really?
We left in Hertford, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yes.
When you were at the Flower Pot?
Yes. That's
I didn't know that. I thought he came
left,
to Harpenden with you.
No, he never lived in Harpenden.
Oh, didn't he? So
No.
he went back to Jarrow and stayed there quite a while, really, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He used to come occasionally.
Did he?
To sort of see us, you know.
Yes.
But because he thought a lot of Catherine, you know, he used to take her
Yeah.
that, you know, for walks and things.
Mm.
But he never really ever got to know Karen.
No, perhaps she was too young.
Well, the thing was, he did come upstairs when we were in the Flower Pot,
Yeah.
when I was bathing her. And he sort of came over to me and I said, would you like to see? I said, you have a granddaughter? And I sort of showed him Karen and that, you know. And he was pleased to see her.
When you left
When
school?
I left school, I went to work at Ashford's, a chemist, just as an assistant, you know,
Oh,
In Aylesbury.
in Aylesbury.
It's not
And
there
then I
now.
went from there to the Alloys, which was a factory down the Bicester Road. Well, I got more money there, yes, yeah. And,
Were you in the office there?
I was in the office there, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you left school, they used to make a report out of what you thought was suitable for the girl, you know, or the boy, whichever left,
Mm.
and to recommend what type of work they should go for. And of course, I really didn't want to, but it was stated in the letter that they sent that I should really take to office work. So, of course, when I went down to Alloys, I got the job. And I was there for quite a number of years, long after I was married, really.
All right, yeah.
And then I left there to go to Hazel's, which was another factory, Hazel, Watson and Viney. Well, you worked there, didn't you?
I worked there for a short time, just before I went to Yorkshire.
Oh, did you? I know you worked there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as I say, when we got this pub in Hertford, because when we took the first one, which was in Wingrave, my mum gave up her job to look after the pub. Well, there wasn't much looking after because there was no business much. But
It was really, I suppose, to get on the ladder.
that's right, yes,
For-
it was.
Yeah, for
Yes,
another
it
pub,
was,
better
yeah.
pub.
And
That's closed
Vincent and
down
I
now.
used to travel into Aylesbury
Mm.
and come back again at night, you know, when we finished work.
Yeah.
And then we got offered this job at the Flower Pot in Hertford, and we took that, and we were there about 16 years. Vincent died there, and so I kept on for 2 years, but my heart wasn't in it.
how did you meet Vincent?
He came over from Ireland because I knew his brother and several of the friends that lived in Galway. And his brother asked my dad if I could write a letter stating that I could give him a job if he wanted to come over, because that's what you did in those days. And so he came over. Dad just wrote and said that he could offer him a job, you know, in the shop. And that's how he got to get a passage over to England. And
But didn't he work in as a mechanic in the Bicester
yes,
Road
he
somewhere?
did. And, yes, at the Alloys where I worked.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That must have been where you two met then, at the Alloys.
No, not really.
Oh,
Because he came to stay with us.
yeah.
And then I spoke to one of the engineers there to see if there was any vacancies, you know, in the garage. And he said, as a matter of fact, there is.
Yes.
So I told him, and he went down there, had a word with him, and he got the job.
Yes.
That was in the garage, you know, in the Alloys where I worked as well.
Yeah.
And then when we got this pub in Hertford, of course, we gave up the work and we went to live in Hertford to keep the pub open, you see, and run the pub, which we did for 16 years.
Mm.
And then he died.
How old was Vincent when he died? 50?
That's right, he was.
Because you'd been married 25 years then, hadn't you?
Yes, I had.
That was about the
Yeah.
25th
We
anniversary.
had the 25th anniversary,
Yeah.
and he died in the Boxing Day after that.
Yeah.
That was in the June, and he died on the Boxing Day. And I kept it on for 2 years, and then I gave it up. And I got
You
out.
moved to Sibley? Is it Sibley?
Sibley Avenue, yes, in Hertford, in Harpenden.
Yeah.
And we got a little house there. And
You sold that and came here.
yes,
So how long have you been here?
30 odd, about 33 years.
Really?
Yeah.
As much as that?